What's up, good people, and welcome to the Play Podcast. I hope you are doing extremely well, and if not, I hope that we can change that in the coming moments. The topic of today's episode is how to enjoy the present moment. There are a lot of things that, we do in life that are not fun, and, a lot of things that we have to focus on and worry about in life that are not fun. And we tend to give those things a lot of focus in our lives because we have to. In a lot of different ways. We will spend sometimes months working on something or even years working at something to get to some point where we can take a break or take a breath, whether that be a job or, school or preparing for our futures. I want you to know that there is a very important part of life that we should not be overlooking because it is a part of making those other things that we want to do in life. It is a part of making those things be something that is fulfilling and something that is a positive in our lives. And that thing is play. We have to be able to take a moment to, enjoy ourselves and enjoy the things that we're doing because it's so easy to get wrapped up in the idea of the end result and the completion of something that we will just toil and toil and toil and do things that, we really don't want to do for long periods of time and really get into the habit of thinking that that's all we deserve, and it's an easy thing to get to that place. Most people know that, we have to work. You have to work to live, to eat, you have to work to get money to be able to afford housing and food and all the things that we need in life. But we cannot get to the point where that's all we think about, where that's all we, allow or all we give our mental capacity to in our lives or our physical capacities to in our lives. We have to be able to put those things in perspective and allow ourselves that time to play and time to enrich our lives in other ways. And more time than not, it's about being able to live in the present moment. And that's what it comes down to. A lot of times the things that we have to do, those things are pretty regimented around time and pretty regimented around, the projection of time and what we have to do to get to a certain place in time. But, the things that are very enriching and fulfilling for our lives tend to actually exist in the present moment. Yes, we can plan for those things, whether they be trips or, just hanging out with friends or parties or anything, that brings you joy and fun that way. We can plan for those things, but the experience of those things happens in the moment, and it's really that being able to exist and reside in the moment that really makes, all those things worthwhile and really makes, life worthwhile in that way. Have you ever been, I know I have, I just want to ask this question. Have you ever been, so excited about doing something that, that you planned, that you kind of put a plan in place for? You wanted to go this particular place and do this particular thing. So you laid out all these plans. And then when you finally get to doing that thing, you don't enjoy it. Yeah, this happened to me many times in my life. And I'm sure it's happened to you in your life at some point. A lot of times this happens because we are so caught up in the planning of something that we forget to live in the moment. We forget to exist in the moment where the thing is actually happening. And, we overlook the power of just being in the moment. There's such power in that. There's such power and you see it in kids. I see it in my kids. If you can remember being a child and remember how, everything was always so new and fresh because it was happening in the moment. It was happening for the first time, and it was happening for you for the first time in a moment, and you were living in that moment. There was no pretense about, it happening or no pretense about what was going to happen. You're just in the moment experiencing something for the first time. So it's very important that we keep that capacity to do that as much as we can in our lives. And I know it can seem very difficult, and it can seem like something that is nearly impossible when you try to get to a point of doing it, but it's something that we have to, be mindful of and work at, because it is the glue to our happiness and to our excitement and to our fun and to making all the things that we strive for, making all those things worthwhile. The play aspect of what we do in our lives is so important that we have to give it its own floor. We have to be able to give it merit. We have to be able to allow it, and it's really about allowing. And the funny thing is, when you get to the point where you are being mindful about playing and about being active that way, it's one of the most fulfilling things in life. That can be one of the most fulfilling things in life, outside of all the accolades, outside of, all the accomplishments, all the things that we want to do that way. When we get to the place where we can enjoy just being in the moment, that's what makes everything worthwhile. Just being in the moment, being able to sit down and sometimes just relax, in an environment that makes you happy. It makes everything worthwhile. It has to do with, really the connection of what you really want to it actually happening. That is what makes it worthwhile, when you can enjoy that connection. Because a lot of times I think we don't. I think the honest reality is, a lot of times we don't enjoy the things we want to happen when they happen, because we're not in the moment with them. We're thinking about the idea of it. We're thinking about the idea of, taking the steps to get to where we want to get to, and the idea of, this particular end result, but we're not enjoying the moment. So it's very important that we get to the point where we're enjoying the moments. Let's enjoy the moments in our lives, and not to get too caught up on, how do I do this, or, how do I, maximize my time in, doing this and that. And yeah, there's a place for that. Yeah, there's always a place for, being proficient, and always a place for getting better at something. We can't negate that. There's always something on the other side of our desire to be better. Not going to take anything away from that. It's important to want to strive for things and, build habits that way, build habits that, kind of dictate the prosperous nature that we want to take on. Those things are important, but it's also very important that we are able to take a moment and enjoy those moments, and enjoy the outcomes of those moments. Enjoy the outcomes of the things that you set in motion. I want us to do that. I want you to take that very seriously. As an assignment, I want you to think about all the things that you want to accomplish. And, you don't need this grandiose list. If there are 2 things that you want to accomplish that are burning things, think about those things. And I want you to think about what you're going to do to celebrate those things. What do you want to do to celebrate those things? And I want you to, before you have accomplished that thing, and I know this may seem a little strange, I want you to celebrate it. I want you to really make an effort to celebrate it, and celebrate yourself in it, and have a great celebration of just being in the moment, thinking about the greatness that you are going to achieve. I want you to do that. And I want you to have that moment and really, think about how it makes you feel, and take that feeling with you as you continue to grow and prosper in all the areas of your life. I hope this was extremely helpful for someone. And until we talk again, I wish you health, wealth, and freedom. you.